Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. What up?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, my bad. I ain't mean to play the horns while you was greeting.
Oh, no. It's all good, man. There's a lot going on this week, man. I'm excited, man.
Man, listen. This week. Oh yeah, we got a special guest.
It came through.
What's going on?
He said hi to everybody. Say hi to us, man.
I don't ask try now. You on with the people today.
Yeah, yes, sir.
But yeah, man, you're right, man. It's a lot going on today. A lot going, not even just today in sports. Like this last week, just from the last time we were on to right before we got on the air, you know, it's been a lot going on, whether it's with the NFL and training camp ending, high school football, college football, boxing, NBA. We got a lot to talk about. So I think, I guess before we even start that, I guess we should let the people know that we're going to have a special off-the-record NFL preview show that's going to air sometime next week before the season starts.
Okay, it's definitely what's up.
Maybe Labor Day to air, but and on that show we're gonna make our predictions. We're gonna have our top players in the league, who's gonna win each division. What else we're gonna have? We're gonna pick our MVPs. We're gonna pick our rookies of the year and things like that. So we're gonna have that next week. That should be pretty dope. Where you want to start, man?
Shoot, man, we got to start with what's going on with Cam Newton, man.
Absolutely. All right, so
I've been waiting all day to ask you your thoughts on that, man. What's up?
So again, if people don't know, Cam got cut. He got And I'm not gonna lie and say that I saw that coming or I wasn't shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, like real Cam. So
last week we both had it like he was gonna start. Like both of us felt like legitimately like he was gonna start.
Yep. And I go ahead.
All right, so what do you think changed that much to go from we legitimately thought he was going to start to him losing his job to Mac Jones and being cut, not just losing his job, but being cut.
So I think that it's a number of things. So I think that the COVID protocols last week kind of played a part in it. It was just a miscommunication. And those 3 days gave Mac Jones the opportunity to get all the reps. He got all the first team reps, and they said he killed it. So with that, I think that closed the gap because I think last week we both felt that Mac Jones was close, but he didn't do enough to separate himself from Cam Newton. And I think that day, those 3 days, he was able to close that gap to the point where they said, "Oh man, if we give him the reins, he can do all right." And then now, he can lead this team. He's a rookie. Excuse me, my fault. I don't know what's going on with this camera today. But he's a rookie. He's he costs less, and he's already our future. So why not give him the keys to the franchise and go on about it? And with that, I feel like Cam probably told them like, or it was some sort of mutual thing where, hey, I'm not going to be a backup, and it could have been a distraction, not necessarily because of Cam, because of the fan base.
So, the first thing I want to start with though is I think Bill Belichick last year he gave the running quarterback an opportunity and decided ultimately this is not the way that I want to play. I think he just looked at Cam and said, okay, maybe I could do something with him, but it just really doesn't fit Bill Belichick's brand of football. So I don't think it was a hard sell for him to get rid of Cam Newton. Now you're segueing into my next question: is Cam Newton a backup quarterback or a starter?
Well, this year he's a backup.
he's a backup. Do you think he can start for anybody?
Everybody has their starting quarterback, or now I think that he can start off the season as a backup, but he'll end up. I mean, someone may get hurt. And then at that point, it's like, all right, well, you're gonna have to take the reins. Now, there's some teams that I believe that he can go to and help the team, whether it's with just playing or leadership, and things of that nature. So I feel like a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who Ben Roethlisberger is injury prone. I think we all know that, right? I know they have Haskins, but I mean, if you got to choose between Cam and Haskins, I'm taking Cam. You have a team like I know everybody and their grandmother brought up Dallas, right?
Right.
And I'm okay with that. We have to hope that Cam can swallow his pride and say, I am a backup quarterback. Because if he goes into any situation thinking that he's a starter, then he might as well retire, right? So I had the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Texans. It's looking like Deshaun Watson is probably not going to take a snap this year, right? I think you were right about that, and it's looking like he's going to be on the 53-man roster, but it's looking like he's not going to take a snap. So does Cam want to go to a situation like that? And
to your point, though, I mean, okay, so let's talk about this. Let's go back into what you were talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So you look at like Dallas. I think Dallas, if I was Cam Newton, that's where I would go. But Pittsburgh is a really good option too. I had never really, I've heard people float it around a little bit, but I absolutely think he's better than Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph. The problem that I've been having with this is, okay, yeah, Cam, he's got his flaws, right? But and maybe he's not better than every single starting quarterback out there, but he is definitely better than the vast majority of backups. And people are just like, well, yeah, let's give the young guys a shot. Like you look at Dallas's situation, Rush, he is better than Rush. You look at,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I look at Ron Rivera, and it's like, okay, I get it. You don't want to relive what you had in Carolina, but you can't tell me that Cam can't go in there and compete with Fitzpatrick, or it's absurd. So where I want to go with this is the opportunities that African American quarterbacks get. It feels like that I could look at Case Keenum, Nick Foles, I mean Nate Peterson.
Don't say that name.
But I'm saying though, right? Okay, so Nate Peterson, he's got to be better than Nate Peterson.
Absolutely.
Brian Hoyer. I'm trying to think of some Taysom Hill. He's got to be better than Taysom Hill down in New Orleans. Josh Rosen. Like, are you serious? He can't get a backup job? And people are like, yeah, he's done. And it's just kind of like when people just kind of wash their hands of African American quarterbacks, and they don't get the same opportunities as other races. And when you look down at even some of these starting quarterbacks, I mean, I get it, right? The Texans gave Tyrod Taylor $12 million, but you wouldn't take Cam Newton over Tyrod Taylor? I think that's a no-brainer, but a lot of people are just like, nah, that's just a dead concept. I even look at your guy, and we'll give him a little bit more time to develop. But Baker Mayfield, he can't compete with Baker Mayfield for a starting job. No. He can't be Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield is like 8 years. I mean, it's like 7 or 8 years younger. You tried to be his backup?
Yeah. The push him.
Oh yeah. But he has to know. But in a situation like that, he has to know that he is the backup, and the only way he's gonna play is if because of injury.
Okay. I think he has to accept that now. I don't think that there's teams out there looking for a starter. I mean, he could do one or two things, right? He can either A, go to a team, become the backup, and just sit and wait his turn and play it out that way. Or B, he could wait till the season plays out, see if any quarterbacks get hurt, and then, use that as leverage and maybe come in and maybe be a starter. I personally, with Dak, I think he's going to end up healthy this year, but just the fact that Jerry Jones does not want to relive last season. He understands that life without Dak was terrible. And he realizes that can change or impact the entire season if you lose the quarterback and don't have somebody that can at least right the ship or step in there. So I don't know. He might pay him.
No, I mean, Cam is not gonna. I mean, he's not gonna get a ton of money, But so
that's the other thing. You on fire today. So Andy Dalton could get $10 million, but Cam going only get $5 million?
Well, Cam had he had a $10 million contract, but it was $5 million guaranteed, or the $5 million salary, and I guess $5 million in incentives. But Andy Dalton's contract is $10 million, I think, for like 3 years or 2 years or something like that.
Nah, but he got a $7.5 million signing bonus. And Cam only like 3.6 of that was guaranteed to him. I think he could have made upwards of like $14 million, but it had to be contingent on if he would have took the Patriots to like the Super Bowl and won, and there was some other incentives in there that was I don't want to say they were crazy, but they were like best case scenario. You get paid out if you do this.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that, and I understand what you're saying. If I think that Cam knew what the hand he was dealt. He had. I don't want to say baggage because that sounds like negative, but he had some, whatever the stigma was that he had with him. They ran with it. I feel like Cam is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton, right? I wish we would have had Cam last year instead of Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton did go 4-5, and with a banged up O-line and all that other stuff, but Cam didn't have an off season. I really felt like Cam was going to do something this season with the Patriots. And now when it comes to that salary, I have no clue what's going on with this camera. It is frustrating. I'm about to switch. But anyway, I feel like Cam knew the cards that he was dealt, and it was what it was. He knows that there's quarterbacks out there that he's better than that's getting more money than him, and that's unfortunate.
So let me ask you this, right? And this has been a hot topic, and Bill Belichick, he tried to kind of bury this narrative today, but I want to go back to it.
Yeah.
Do you think Cam not being vaccinated, and we don't know that for sure, we can just assume, do you think that played into why he was cut?
Ooh, well, that was one of the first things that I thought of. He got COVID. He got COVID last season, and then this year there was a paperwork issue with his protocol, with the protocol. So ultimately, him not being vaccinated or that situation caused him to lose his job, because I do believe this time last week that he was the number one guy. They were going into the week one with him going to be the starter, and then when they saw what Mac Jones could do, it was like, oh, well, we don't have to take on this risk. Now, was it directly because of him not being vaccinated? I don't know, and I can't say 100% certain. No, I can't. But what I can say is,
yeah, whatever you can say. Oh man, he's froze up, but he'll come back in. But this is what I'll say, right? I don't think that he was cut 100% because he was not vaccinated, but I think that there's truth in all teams looking at how it impacts their bottom line by the players not being vaccinated. No player wants to. The teams basically, if you're not vaccinated for the team, or you're not vaccinated, period, you end up having to do the protocols are different for you, and you could potentially have to miss games, have to sit out, have to quarantine, opposed to if you are vaccinated. And I think that's factored into some of the team's decision making. Now, Urban Meyer with the Jaguars, he openly admitted that, hey, this did go into the decision making for some of the last guys on the roster. Now he came back and he cleaned it up, and the Jaguars said, nah, it wasn't any decision making. But I think the teams are looking at that and saying that, you know what, this guy's not vaccinated. He's not really that as good as this other guy. I'm going to go with this other guy. The analogy that I read today, which was a good analogy, is that if you've got somebody that has got a bad back, and then you've got somebody that's healthy, and they're even right down the middle, but somebody's got an injury history, you're going to lean to the person that doesn't have an injury history. And you're going to more than likely pick up that person and just go with it from there. So, no, definitely really interesting. Real interested to see how the season kicks off. I know the teams are they're getting close to their 53-man roster, and there's going to be a lot of willing and dealing. So one of the major storylines is where will Cam Newton fall? If he goes to one of the teams that we mentioned, then it's going to create a domino effect for everybody else to where they're going and what they're doing. One of the things that I think this preseason highlighted is we have a good quarterback class that's coming in. I was a little skeptical about Zach Wilson with the Jets, but he's been nothing short of phenomenal in preseason. I know that I kind of laughed when they talked about the Aaron Rodgers comparisons, And I mean, he literally has set the preseason on fire. I mean, he looks good out there. If he could carry that momentum going into the rest of the season, I mean, look out! It's going to be a good year. Well, I wouldn't say a good year for the Jets, but he'll have a pretty good year. Mac Jones, we think that he's going to be a fantasy stud, and he's going to at least make the Patriots a little bit more competitive. Um, I look for, even though it's not his first year, well, Lawrence, he's going to have a pretty solid year. Um, and then you got to look at what's going on in Chicago, right? So you got Andy Dalton and you got Justin Fields. Andy Dalton is just, I just don't understand why Chicago continues to start this guy. Um, it's just mind boggling that when you watch a Chicago Bears game and you look at Andy Dalton compared to Justin Fields, the athleticism is just not there. I understand that Andy Dalton has had a lot of history in this league, but you get what you get out of Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton is somebody that should be considered a top tier backup, but not necessarily the starter. But I'm a bit surprised that the Chicago Bears are not rolling the dice and saying, okay, we got a solid defense. We got a few playmakers. Let's see what the young kid can do, and let's go with it. Are you surprised by that? Are you surprised by the Bears not starting Andy Dalton?
Absolutely, man. I think that I think he's gonna end up losing his job if he doesn't put that rookie into the starting lineup.
As he should. He
Seen
should lose it.
enough.
He should lose his job. As he should.
Yeah. Our eyes have seen enough. We've seen enough of Andy Dalton. We've seen enough of Justin Fields just in the preseason. At this point, it doesn't even matter about it doesn't matter about practice. You know, I know they see more in practice than we see, but we've seen Justin Fields play against guys, and anyone that thinks that Justin Fields isn't ready is crazy. Because if Trevor Lawrence, if Jones, if Trey Lance, or what's the other one? I'm missing somebody.
So I said
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, so I went over Zach Wilson and Mac Jones. You missed that part a little bit, and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if they think that those guys are ready and don't think that Justin Fields is ready, they're nuts. They're nuts. He should be the week 1 starter. I feel like what they said. He gave Andy Dalton the promise, and now Andy Dalton is like, well, it's my time to shine, and that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess like Justin Fields, and he's taking the right approach. We all have seen this story. Like Andy Dalton is not going to lead the Bears to the promised land, or he may do so because I said he won't. But it's probably a 95% chance that Andy Dalton, after 3 games, will be 1-2, and the Bears will look horrible, and they will be threatening to fire Matt Nagy if he doesn't make the quarterback switch and put Justin Fields in there. So it's coming. What do you think? So I've been watching this 49er preseason pretty closely. You know, I've been watching Garoppolo and Trey Lance. Sorry. I've been watching that unfold, and a lot of people are saying like, okay, they should do the package quarterback and swap them in and out. I don't like it.
I don't either.
Is it just me? Okay.
No. I think it's foolish. Give one of them to start, and go with it. I personally think that it should be Garoppolo. I do. I think that you should start with Garoppolo because I think Garoppolo's situation is a lot different than Andy Dalton's situation. Because with Garoppolo, it's crazy as it sounds. When he plays, they win. Whether he's throwing for, I don't care if he's throwing for 100 yards or whatever. When he plays, they win. When he doesn't play, more times than not, they do not win. So I feel like you should start Garoppolo. Now here's the other thing. More times than not, Garoppolo's gonna get hurt. so Trey Lance is gonna play anyway. But I don't think they should do the dual quarterback thing. I think that's foolish.
So I'm with you 100% on that, right? There's nothing wrong with a quarterback sitting an extra year being prepared. Like you look at the whole thing with Patrick Mahomes, right? His whole first year, Alex Smith started. You know, they moved up to the 10th spot to get him. They sat him for a year, and then when he took over, boy, was he ready. You know,
yeah, but that situation is different also because I mean the year before the Chiefs weren't bad, and Alex Smith had taken the Chiefs to the playoffs. I don't know if they went to the playoffs.
Right? No. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
No. It is the same situation as far as like you have a competent quarterback that can win you games. You know what I mean? Like they're not incompetent and you could still go to the playoffs or you could still you can go to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's done it before. I have no problem with him starting too, and I'm glad that he has a great backup to where if he goes down, then it's all she wrote, and it's a wrap from there.
Yeah, I agree. But honestly, I don't think Patrick Mahomes had to sit. I think it helped, but I don't think it helped him that much. I think that that was doing Alex Smith a solid. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Patrick Mahomes could have started his rookie year and would have been just fine. He's that good. So let's go ahead and get to the winner of the week. All right.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, man. So my winner of the week this week is the Mets GM or acting GM Zach Scott. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but yesterday he was pulled over for a DUI and he was booked and he was released. So he's going to go to court early Thursday. And it's not all on Zach Scott, right? A lot of this is on the Mets organization. So he's the acting GM because he's taking over for a GM that was sending explicit sex videos to reporters and stuff like that. So now your replacement is out there getting a DUI. And the reason why I'm kind of on them a little bit tougher is because if this was a player, we would be holding them to a high standard, right? You know, when players mess up, everybody jumps on their line. But when these assistant GMs and GMs, when they mess up, it's kind of like it almost gets swept under the rug. And I feel like that the GM and the assistant GMs are the ones that should be held to a higher standard. You know what I mean? You're ultimately handing out punishments to these guys and you're preaching accountability and you expect these guys to give you their all. And the minute that they mess up, you fine them, you cut them, you trade them, you do whatever you deem necessary, however the punishment fits in your eyes. But when you have something like this happen with you, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, he just won't be traveling with the team. Oh yeah, we'll get him some help. And they just pretty much get off. And I don't think it's fair, man.
Yeah, we've seen this before, Scott. the owner of the Indianapolis
Jim
Colts.
Irsay, wasn't it?
Yep. And
Jim Irsay Jr., whatever his name is.
no, it's Jim Irsay.
It's Jim
Whatever.
Irsay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't even matter. But eventually, he got suspended by the league. But the league wasn't going to do anything. The league was going to just say, hey, he's an owner. We'll give him a fine and move on. Now, if a player gets a DUI, they may get suspended. They're definitely going to get a fine. It messed with the shield,
Right.
And in baseball, same thing. It's like he's just getting a slap on the wrist, and it's unfortunate because there are guys that have done less and gotten punished worse, so I don't know, man. I don't know. But
so before we get into
go ahead.
Before we get into our hot topic, because I know you're going to bring it up, because we cannot go another 30 minutes and not talk about it. Mm-hmm. Ben Simmons asking for a trade, man. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, I think, I seen that coming a mile away. I was hoping that he was going to be able to stay with, that he would stay with the Sixers and ball. But it ain't looking like it, man. It's looking like he's not trying to hear it. He's trying to get out of there. He said he would go anywhere. Allegedly, that's what the reports say, that he will go anywhere. So
let me ask you this, and I don't believe that it's a rift between Embiid and Simmons anymore. I do think that they cleared that up. Do you think he's more mad with the fans and the coach and the front office?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't even think it's the fans. I think it's more of the organization. I don't even think it's the players. I think it's the organization, and not just Doc Rivers. I feel like when Doc Rivers got there, he was already on not that nice, but it was already a little touchy with the front office and Ben Simmons. So I feel like he just wants to get out of that organization, and eventually he's gonna talk about everything that happened with the organization. But right now, I think he just wants out. What are your thoughts?
So here's my thoughts. Right, I was a little okay. So I can understand why he wants to be out. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what's going to be a better situation for him. Everywhere you go, you're going to have to shoot. You're going to, at some point in time, you're going to have to just face the music, and you got to learn how to shoot, and you got to, take jump shots. Basketball, you can't play basketball without shooting the ball. And it doesn't matter if you're a 76er. Doesn't matter if you're a Warrior. Doesn't matter who you go to. At some point, you're going to be you got to shoot the ball, and that's part of being a guard, right? And that's what a lot of point forwards don't understand is you got to be able to score. It's not just about making people better around you. You have to be a threat, and at some point, the rest of the teams in the NBA are going to do what the Hawks did to you, and they're going to force you to have to shoot the ball, and that doesn't go away. So I'm a little, I guess, confused of why he would want to trade, right? So you could say that the organization hasn't done a lot, but if you really look at it, last year's team that they assembled, it's all on the players and the coach. They had enough on that roster to where they could have been just as competitive with anybody there. They could have gave Milwaukee a run. They could have challenged the Phoenix Suns. They had enough talent and depth. It was just when it came down to it, they didn't execute. he has to be accountable for a lot of that, because he wouldn't shoot it. I mean, part of it, we went over this before. It does rust on Doc Rivers, and it does rust on Embiid, and it does rust on other players. But I just don't see where he can go to where he's going to be able to escape that.
Yeah, no, and I think he's working on it. I mean, I saw videos of him. Matter of fact, he hit 2 threes, and was making some plays while he was playing. It was that I feel like Ben Simmons, like I feel like he could shoot, because I've never seen a lefty that couldn't really shoot, right? But he just doesn't shoot. So whether he was working on it or not, he needs to get that confidence back to where just shoot the ball. Like it got to the point in the playoffs in that Hawks series where he wasn't even shooting layups. So so it ain't just about threes, because you don't have to be the best 3-point shooter to shoot threes, or just shoot. He just needs to shoot. I think he wasn't taking a mid-range. If it wasn't a layup, and he wasn't shooting the ball, and I think that's where the problem lies. Make them respect the jumper. You know what I'm saying? We know you can make plays. We know you're a playmaker. We know you play great defense, but give them something else to respect. And I think that's what Ben Simmons has to deal with. But yeah, I mean, does he get traded? I think he's probably gonna get traded. Now, if he gets traded to the Warriors and they trade him for Draymond Green, I mean, I think that the Sixers lose that. I mean, they better get a bunch of first round picks if they trade in Draymond Green. If they get Draymond Green.
So this is what they're talking about. They're talking about Andrew Wiggins, Wiseman, and a first rounder in 2022, and I believe it's like a second rounder in 23. Which I don't feel like that's a good trade. It was one other piece that they put in it. Now, from a financial standpoint, they had to put Wiggins in there just to make the money work. Right. Wiseman, with them having Drummond, I don't see how they would eat Wiseman and Embiid.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make much sense. So if I'm the 76ers, I probably would say no to that. I did like the offer that they were talking about with the Kings. They pretty much was going to give up Hill, Halliburton, and then there was one other player, and then they was going to throw in some draft picks. I think I would have did that before. I would do a Warriors deal.
So that would actually be pretty good, because you pair De'Aaron Fox with Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons doesn't have to be the primary ball handler. I think you got something there. They still have Buddy Hield, right? Or did he leave?
No, they would put him in the trade. He'd be part of the trade. He'd go to the 76ers, but if you're the 76ers, at least you're looking at getting you're getting a pure shooter.
Oh, in return. If you're getting Halliburton, Hill, and Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield, Halliburton, and some picks.
And some picks.
If I was the Sixers, I would ask for another big as well.
I think they had put some. I'm trying to think who else was included in that deal, but it was enough. It was just kind of like, okay, that's the deal that I would be trying to close. And if he doesn't care about going anywhere, I mean, he can go to Sacramento, and nobody's going to care if he's shooting out there. They'll just be happy to have that star power out there. So he can go hide in Sacramento.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I guess we should talk about it. I'm surprised that this wasn't the winner of the week, but
it was, but I intentionally switched the winner of the week so we could talk about this.
Okay. So Bishop Sycamore high school. All right, so I did some more research, my brother.
Okay.
So the quarterback had spoke out. The quarterback said that they are a real school. They're not a traditional school, which I can understand that. That he said that they're similar to IMG. The program is 3 years old. They take online classes. You know, they don't go to traditional class. Everything is online. They wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, train, go to class. Excuse me. Watch film, practice, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. The problem I have in this whole thing is that Bishop Sycamore lied to ESPN so they could get on TV. Ultimately, that's how it's gonna look. That they lied to ESPN and to the organization that does that puts together these national games. Paragon Media Group. They're the ones that put together the games. They were unaware that Bishop Sycamore played a game on Friday, you know, and I've played football, and playing the game on Friday, then turn around and playing on Sunday is absurd. It's crazy. It's crazy. Don't matter what level. Doesn't matter. I mean, maybe
They said
maybe
huh? They said the coach from the other team said that the team that they played Friday said that the Joker said they had 2 teams. And he said when he turned on the TV and saw more ESPN and saw the same kids that he played against. I mean, it ain't funny.
Yeah. No,
Like,
it is
come on,
funny.
man.
So first of all, why would you even believe that? I wouldn't believe that.
Nobody should believe that.
But the coach, you know, who's been fired, has he has arrest warrants for fraud. Go figure. You know, then I think the kicker was it was reports that they had like JUCO dropouts. They had, you know, older guys that were playing on the team like in their mid-20s. But so after doing some research, they saying that the quarterback is the oldest kid on the team. He's 19, and he reclassed because of COVID from last year. And I said that's believable, but I mean, the people on ESPN didn't even they couldn't even name the people that were getting hurt and that were subbing for the quarterback after he got hurt. It was
So how they get beat 58-0?
Because I mean, IMG. Let's be clear. IMG is official. They're the number 2 ranked team in the country. Everybody on IMG is going to play football in college. What college? I don't know. But most of them are going to be Power 5 schools. You know, IMG is official. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the WNBA was with the bubble at IMG. You know, so you already know they have the facilities. Here's a funny thing. The address, if you look up the school, the address to the school is like a rec center.
It was like a training facility. I seen that joint. Okay. So look, right? You say all that, right? And everything that you said, you've been dead on with. Nobody in their right mind could have ever done their due diligence. And it's all these schools that accepted to play this school. The school's been in existence for 3 years. Nobody knew who they played. Nobody knew, like they hadn't heard of them. Nobody had heard of them. And it's just kind of like you finesse your way on ESPN. That's not okay. So look, it's shocking that they were able to get away with this and make it this far. I'm shocked that, like you said, what coach in their right mind believes that a football team has 2 teams? Oh, you playing the sorry team, but the one on ESPN, you'll watch the other guys. Like what is this? But they brought up a good point that some of these private schools have a hard time getting schools that are willing to travel to. And,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much all you have to do is just offer your school, and they'll accept the game because they're that pressed to get teams to play for them. But it's just, I don't know, man. Somebody could have. This seems like it could have been vetted really easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does seem like that. It's really weird, man. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know how this happens. Like, especially like ESPN. It's just weird, man. I feel like it's to me it feels like it's a liability issue, because what if one of these guys on IMG gets hurt,
Right.
and you're playing a fake school? So I mean, I think that the people at IMG should be held accountable as well. I don't think it should just be a ESPN or Paragon Media, because they should do their due diligence as well. And it doesn't seem like they did. So my question is, what happens now? Does that coach turn himself into wherever he has that warrant out? That's the first question. Does he turn himself in? Secondly, what happens with those other guys that are on that team and these guys? So what happens now?
So it's a very touchy situation, right? Because you almost get into the argument, and I don't mean to ask a question when I'm trying to answer a question, but I was thinking, what's the difference between somebody being homeschooled and somebody taking classes online? Like the Tim Tebow rule.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if you're homeschooled, you're not playing for your home. Yeah, like if you're homeschooled, in most cases, you're eligible to go play for a high school that's local to you.
Okay, so that was my question. Is like, okay, so if I took classes online or I was homeschooled, can I only play at the school that's in my district of my address, or can I play at a private school?
Well, yeah, I mean, well, if you play at a private school, you can live wherever you want. The more than likely, the private school is gonna pay for your housing. They're gonna do X, Y, and Z. But I feel like that this situation, because there are other schools like this Bishop, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think IMG goes into like class. I mean, online classes are the new thing anyway. Especially since the pandemic. But this just wasn't a legit. As far as I know, this ain't no legit school.
No.
Yeah,
That doesn't sound like a legit school. I mean,
it sounds like a scam.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a scam, and he was trying to get them on. It was just at some point there's going to be some sort of 30 for 30 short or something on this story, or it's going to be something to let us know what went into all this. But it's definitely one of the craziest things I've heard in a long time, man.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we got a little bit of time left, and it's only right. It is fantasy football season. You hear it in the intro. The people have been clamoring. Scotty B Fantasy 5. Listen, I'm telling you, Scotty B Fantasy 5. Get him, Scott. The floor is yours. Your 5 people to look out for in the fantasy draft in the fantasy world. Before you even say that, we have a fantasy draft tonight, my brother.
I know.
And you actually have the number 1 pick.
You are. I got the number 1 pick.
You got the number 1 pick.
Oh, wow.
So again, let's top 5 fantasy sleepers that you will be looking out for.
All right. I think one is Corey Davis. I think he's gonna have a good year.
Mhm.
For some reason, I can't give up hope on AJ Green. I think him being paired up with DeAndre Hopkins is gonna look good for him.
Okay.
I feel like Joe Burrow is going to have a breakout year this year too. I think that he's going to have a pretty decent year. Marquez Callaway down with New Orleans. I think that he's going to have a nice season. And let me think of a running back. So I think it's cliche. I think everybody knows that Najee Harris, he's going to have a good season with the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of another good running back that
Let me get a number. Let me get the fifth one.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that AJ Dillon is someone that people should watch out for. He's a backup in Green Bay, but he's gonna get a lot of carries. He was I think he was a second round pick, right? Second or third round pick.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's the thing too that I think a lot of us keep missing out on, or failing to realize is very few backs share the back. Had the backfield all to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So for that second and third running back, at some point you're just going to have to go for guys that get carries or get a lot of passing yards and get opportunities. And he's going to be one that's going to get opportunities.
Absolutely. All right. All right. Well, I mean, it's almost time to go. What happened?
I hate the number one pick. If it's not one thing that I hate more than anything in fantasy football, it's the damn number one pick. How the hell did I end up with the number one pick? Damn.
Well, I got number 11, so that ain't no better. That ain't no better.
I know who I'm going. I know who I'm going with already, but I did not want the number one pick to have to pick this person.
Are you gonna tell the people who?
Yeah, I'm picking Christian McCaffrey.
I don't believe you for some reason. I don't believe you. For some reason, I don't believe you.
I'm going Christian McCaffrey.
I'm surprised you're not going the Rams defense with the number one pick.
Oh, no. But in 15 minutes, I don't think I have the courage to go Mahomes. I just don't. I don't have the courage to pick Mahomes with the number one pick. Yeah. Maybe I'll put a little, not even fear, but have people think that I'm going to take him. But I don't have the heart. I can't do it.
Dang, you can't do it. I mean, I think that I'm over here. See, I'm getting a little distracted but nah, man. So again, we're gonna.
I'll accept trades for the number one pick since we're playing a keeper league.
Dang, this man! Look at this man.
I'll accept the trade.
Yeah. So
it don't matter who I take.
So I'll say this again. I believe it may be Labor Day or Monday or Tuesday. I forget the date. But we'll post it on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all of that stuff. The NFL the season preview.
Okay.
And we'll see. We'll have some of our friends on. We'll have some other people on just to talk about the season and see how it goes, man. But yeah, man, it's about that time. I think we need to get out of here because we got this is a very serious and competitive league. And these guys are vultures, and they will not allow you. They will not allow you to even try and get a leg up. They will listen. These guys are snakes.
I just can't figure out. I paid my money on time. Why the fantasy gods decided to give me the number one pick? Damn.
Oh man, but
I know these guys are snakes too, man. I'm gonna end up picking up one of them guys I just said. Round 2 and 3, I'm gonna end up with AJ Gray.
Well,
oh my Jesus.
Man. Well, all right, man. So let's get up out of here. This off the record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
We out.
All right, man.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.